Arrival is a film that describes humans' first contact with aliens and examines concepts such as the nature of time, the complexity of language, and determinism. Our protagonist is Louise, a professor of linguistics, and the film opens with her speaking to her daughter who has died at an early age from an incurable illness. We assume that Louise has already experienced this tragedy, but this is not the case, as will be revealed later in the film. One day, 12 alien spaceships land across several sites on Earth. One such landing site is in Montana, USA, and Louise is hired by the US government to help decipher the alien language via which the aliens are attempting to communicate. Louise quickly establishes that there is no correlation between the alien spoken language and their written language. Their circular written language is able to communicate ideas and thoughts in a non-linear format. There is no beginning or end. An entire concept, idea, thought is presented all at once. When Louise is able to truly understand their language, everything for her, and later for all of humanity, changes. First contact. The film depicts various reactions to first contact with an alien life form. People are panicked, looting and violence break out in the streets, and the beliefs of religious fundamentalists are challenged, causing them to act out. Different countries with different cultures view the aliens with varying levels of curiosity, enthusiasm, and suspicion. While humanity attempts to work together in the face of this unique event, the unity is a fragile one. Countries both share and withhold information, and there is always a danger that miscommunication and misinterpretation will lead to the breakdown of the nebulous coalition. As Louise attempts to establish a two-way communication with the alien beings, she stresses the importance of learning and teaching enough vocabulary in order to avoid misunderstandings. This is a legitimate concern, given how quickly misunderstandings can arise between our own species. The film portrays how governments will come together when facing global challenges, but in a very chaotic way. The complexity of language. There's a part in the movie where Louise writes down the ultimate question humans want to ask the aliens. What is your purpose on Earth? She breaks down how in order to understand that question, the aliens would first have to understand what a question is. They would then need to understand what a collective you is. And finally, they would also have to understand the concept of purpose. All of this illustrates how complex the human language and our way of thinking is. The aliens would not only have to have sentience and self-awareness, they would also have to have a language that could translate across to us humans. When you think about the fact that we share the planet with several species of animals, but we aren't able to communicate with any of these animals via a spoken language, much less a written one, it becomes clear how advanced the visiting aliens must be. However, given that they have traveled across space to visit Earth, it's a safe assumption to make that not only are they advanced, they are more advanced than humanity, as they have been able to create technology that has made their space travel far more advanced than what we have been able to achieve thus far. The appearance of the heptapods. The aliens have been dubbed heptapods because they have 7 tentacle-like feet, and they resemble squids or octopuses. Squids and octopuses belong to the cephalopod class of mollusks, and they are known for their intelligence, which has evolved along a completely different route to human and other vertebrate intelligence. The most recent common ancestor between humans and cephalopods lived about 600 million years ago, so very early on in animal evolution. The existence of cephalopod intelligence indicates that evolution has built minds twice over, and it seems fitting that heptapods resemble squids and octopuses because in reality, these animals are the closest things to alien life we can experience here on Earth. The heptapods never step out of their ship, and even though they go to some lengths to create an atmosphere and gravitational conditions that allow humans to enter the ship, they remain behind a barrier, indicating that Earth's conditions may be toxic to them. The heptapod language. The heptapod language reveals that they view time differently. To them, time is non-linear. They are able to access the past, present, and future all at once. The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. In the film, Ian, a theoretical physicist who Louise works with, mentions the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. This theory postulates that the language someone speaks affects their perception of reality, and so as Louise begins to learn the heptapod language, she begins to experience time as they do, and is able to access the past, present, and future all at once. I will mention for accuracy's sake that most linguists reject the hypothesis as described in the film. The language you speak does not determine how you see the world. Unification. The Heptapods explain to Louise that they have come to Earth in order to give humanity their language. They need the human race to advance because in 3,000 years, they will need the help of humanity for the survival of their own species. The Heptapods share their language and information across their 12 landing sites, as they need to create the circumstances that will force humanity to unite and work together. Humanity must start to see themselves as a global collective rather than individual nations. In the film, the military leader of China, General Shang, is about to begin an attack on the Heptapods, and Louise is able to tap into her newfound ability of being able to access the future in order to find out what she needs to say to him to get him to stop. The universal language. Throughout the film, Louise has visions, and these visions are of her future. We see via these visions that after the Heptapods leave, she begins to teach the rest of the world their language. She dubs the Heptapod language the universal language. When Louise projects herself into the future to find out what she must say to General Shang, she is helped by General Shang himself, who at that point in the future also knows the Heptapod language and realizes that it is he who must give Louise the information she needs. He shares with her both his personal phone number and his wife's dying words, which convince him to stop his plan of attack. His wife's words were, "In war, there are no winners, only widows." Free will. Louise's ability to access the future also reveals a great personal tragedy. The death of her daughter, as we saw it at the start of the film, actually lies in her future. She and Ian will fall in love, marry, and have a daughter, Hannah, and Hannah will die at a young age. Their ability to experience time as the Heptapods do rips away the illusion of free will. The future is predetermined and Louise cannot alter it. It is the same for the Heptapods. They know what lies before them, and as a species, they have only one way of saving themselves, and that is to give humans their language so that humanity can help them in the future. Predetermined fate is something that Ian finds hard to accept, because when Louise does share with him what she knows, he tells her that she made the wrong choice and leaves her. Ian is not willing to believe that Louise could not have altered their future and blames her for what will happen to Hannah. Louise, for her part, makes peace with the nature of time and the nature of existence as she comes to know it. She decides to embrace every moment of Hannah's life, even though she knows the sorrow that will visit her family. Louise savours the joy derived from her daughter's short-lived existence and names her Hannah, a palindrome that reads the same backwards and forwards in a nod to the nature of time, which has also been revealed to have no beginning or end. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, comment and subscribe, as it really does help my channel, and I'll see you next time.